In this particular topic, I'm going to introduce functions, which is also known as methods in the object-oriented programming lingo. What is a function? So let's say you have a code like this. For X in orders list, I'm calculating the discounted price, and the total price is total price plus discounted price. And if the total price is greater than 7,500, then there's additional discount. So this is how the block of code is, and the purpose of this block of code is to provide discount, to find out the discount price, so that it can be printed in the invoice and it can be shown to the customer also for payment. Let's say this piece of code is needed in multiple places in your entire application code. So let's say you are writing only one Python program, and in that Python program, this block of code is needed in different places because the code is pretty big. So what will you do? As this code is used at multiple places, do you copy and paste this code in all the places? So if you need this block of code in multiple places, you'll have to copy and paste the code in all those places where it is needed. So far so good. It's kind of okay, not completely, but still manageable. But let's say you have to modify a certain piece. So in case of 0.9, let's say I want to give a 5% discount on the total price. So it will be 0.95. So currently this block of code is present in 5 different places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you do, you will go ahead and change this 0.9 to 0.95 in 5 different places. I guess you can do that, but imagine that the code is very big. The first thing is that if the number of places where this code is used is more than 5, then it would become really cumbersome and tedious to change it. The second point is there's a high chance that if the code is itself is very big and you are trying to change it in all the places, only this piece of code, then some might bound to be unattended. Some modifications will not be done. So in those cases, the discount will remain as 10%, not modified to 5%. So it is very risky as far as business is concerned, because business has decided that the discount should not be more than 5%, keeping some margin in mind. So what do? You use these group of statements in a single block and name it. And that's what a function is. What functions do, you will put this block of code only in one place and you'll name that block of code, let's say something, calculate discount. Now, if you think about the modifications, you'll have to only modify it in one place and then you'll name or call that piece of block using the name. So you do not have to modify it in all the other places. So this is called functions, and it forms the basis of methods in Python classes and objects. And we'll talk about methods and classes, etc. in our object-oriented programming section. But function is the basis of method. Not only that, function is used for creating APIs also in Python. So if you're using, let's say, Flask library, you can use Flask library to create API using functions. So function becomes very important and paramount in Python programming. So this is what a function is. Let's see this form and shape. How do we define a function? So the first thing is we define the function using the def keyword, which is the short form of define, and we mention something like this. So again, this is the same block of code which was there in the previous slide, but what I have done here, I have put this block of code inside of this function definition. So I'm saying from here to here should be called as calculate final price. And we are using the def keyword and then the name of the function followed by the brackets. And of course we have colons and indentation, just follow the indentation because we have to have indentation in Python everywhere. So we have named it, we have defined the function. Now we can call the function using its name. So call calculate final price maybe 5 times, 10 times, how many ever times you want. Now if you have to make modification, let's say the business has decided the final discount would be 5% rather than 10%, you just change here. So total price equal to total price into 0.95, and that's it. You do not have to change it in multiple places. Because you are using the name to call the function, all of them would execute the modified code which has been changed here. So that is the advantage of function. So here what am I showing you is that it is just printing something, doing some calculation, etc. There's something called a return keyword also. So return keyword is used to do some calculation and return certain value. So you would return a variable of certain type in a function. So it is something like this: define the function name and pass something called parameters. We'll talk about parameters in some time. Then you have the statements and then you return the variable. Now the moment you return something, you can actually hold the value that is returned by this function in a variable. Let's do some hands-on, high level hands-on using function. So let's say this is the order ID and this is the order price. So let me define the function. Let's say calculate final price. And this is the definition of function, and we have to mind the indentation, but if you are using an IDE, indentation would be handled automatically by you. Let me define one more variable called order discount, and let's say the discount is 20%. So now what will I do? I'll calculate the final price. So order price is equal to order price minus, so order price equal to order price minus order price into order discount by 100. So this is the discounted price, but also there's a final discount that I want to give, so that the company wants to give. So final price is equal to, now it's based on a condition. If the order price is greater than, let's say, $1,000, then there has to be a final price calculation. So then the final price is order price into 0.9. And now I'm out of the if statement. Let's print the final price of the order. Okay, now few things. As you can see, there are red here. So why am I seeing red here? Because even though I have defined the order price here, the function does not recognize this order price, because we'll have to define these things inside of the function. And this is called scoping, and we'll talk about scoping in the coming slides. But as of now, what we'll have to do is that we'll have to get this order price inside of the function. So let's say order price is 347 and then discount is 20%, and then if order price is greater than 1000, then that will be final price. And by the way, I'll have to mention an else here, because if it is not greater than $1,000, the final price would be equal to order price, and that would be the final price. Now we have defined the function. Now we'll have to call the function. So to call the function, you just name the function and followed by the brackets. That's all you have to do, and you can call it multiple times. Right, so now every time the final price of your order would be printed. So as you can see, it is 278.288. Again, of course, I'm not using any scaling, so that's why it is being shown 278.288. I can change it. Let's say it is 2347, then it will go to this particular section and execute this. So in this case, the final price is 16990.46. So that's how the calculation is happening. Now let's say I want to change the final discount to 5% instead of 10%. So I'll mention 0.95 here. And because of this function definition, I do not have to change it in all the places, because I have changed the function definition and all of them would pick the changed function definition or the modification that has been done. And if I execute this, as you can see, it has changed from 1630 to 1784, which is the discount of 5% on the total price. So this is how function can be very, very useful. Of course, here I have put multiple blocks just to show you that how function can be useful, but there are a lot of other use cases of functions. As I told you that if you are using functions in a class, it becomes a method. We can also use functions as APIs. So whenever, if you want to create APIs using Python, we'll have to use functions, because the API would be pointing to a function execution. So that's why function becomes very important in Python.